There we go. All right. Would you like me to read them?
There's 3 revisions to the agenda for this evening, and Borough Manager will read those.
Okay. So
Or
the
you want me to?
first revision is to add to the new business section for council to discuss the summer schedule for your business meetings. The second revision is a correction to Roman numeral 10A. The dollar amount in the suggested motion could be revised and changed to $201,581.61. I apologize to everyone. I pulled that off of the wrong column, but we do have it. That dollar amount is out of the right column.
And that corrects the 142,084.75.
And then the third is we'll put that under Public Works. And that is council discussion regarding the replacement of the dome for the salt shed. Madam President, those are the 3 revisions, additions that staff requests.
Okay, thank you. And this is the public comment section for any agenda items. Does anyone want to address council on agenda items? There being no one wanting to address council, we'll do public presentations. There's no public presentation, is there?
No presentations this evening.
If everyone's had the opportunity to review the minutes from the May 11th, 2026 Borough Council business meeting, if there are no additions or corrections, I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Administration, the Borough of Dormont and Castle Shannon Borough have a cooperative effort for shared services related to pool use and splash pad. I need a motion to move to authorize Council President and Borough Manager to execute a memorandum of understanding between Castle Shannon and Dormont Borough, memorializing an agreement for pool usage and seasonal employee training.
I'll make that motion.
And just for explanation, we have an agreement with Dormont that when our residents use their pool, they can get a pass at the Dormont rate, and the borough makes up the difference. And for our seasonal employees that are working on the splash pad, they're going to take their training with the Dormont people, the pool people there. So it's
The Dormont Pool Manager will be doing specialized training for our seasonal employees. And the benefit to the employees is they'll receive their certifications in AED, first aid, and CPR. So that's a wonderful opportunity for our young folks to get that training as well as getting, general pool safety and chemical testing.
I'll second that motion.
motion's been first and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Bid awards, contracts, and resolutions. In accordance with the published advertisement, sealed bids for the paving contracts were to be received by LSSE through the Quest Construction Data Network by 11 a.m. Thursday, May 21st. The bids received were opened and read aloud at 12 p.m. on May 21st. 2026, A. Folino Construction, Inc. was the apparent low bidder for the capital fund project, and W.A. Petrakis Contracting, LLC, the apparent low bidder for the liquid fuel fund project. Is there any comments?
Madam President, I don't know if our borough engineer would like to share with council any comments about the bid opening or the 2 low bidders.
In terms of the capital fund contract, Polino was a low bidder. They're a familiar face, paving in the borough. Their bid was 101,000, just over that. And the base bid, those roads were Hollow, Londonwood distributor to the border, Londonderry from Killarney to Waterford, and Waterford, Londonderry to Careyville. Those 3 roads are in the $1,000 scope of work. There were several ad alternates bid, ad alternate 1 through 7, that are in the bid report. It's in your packet. I can review those if you'd like, but that vendor's certainly familiar with Castle Shannon and with the apparent low bidder in the base bid and for several of the ad alternates.
I just asked.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to award contract number 26-RO-1 to A. Felino Construction, Inc. as the apparent low bidder in the amount of $201,581.61. Subject to A. Felino Construction, Inc. obtaining the required insurance certificates, performance bond, funding agency compliance certifications, and review and approval of the same by the borough solicitor prior to the execution of the agreement by the borough.
I'll make the motion with the addition of the alternates, adding Columbia and the Killarney project.
It's not to that one. That's to the second one.
First one?
That's
No,
that's for the capital fund.
I thought that was under liquid fuels.
As I mentioned earlier, the liquid fuels budget was set at 100,000, and because that is a fund with limited funds, that dollar amount is 100,000 really is all that can be expended out of the liquid fuels fund. So any ad alternates would be placed in the capital fund project. And for the record, for you, Vicky, that's ad alternate number 5 and ad alternate number 7.
We need to state the amounts or not.
And for the record, ad alternate 5 would add $27,284.91 for the project. Ad alternate number 7 would add $66,924.75 to the project.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Paving program contract number 26-RO-2 liquid fuels project. I need a motion to move forward with contract number 26-RO-2 to W.A. Petrakis Contrasting LLC as the apparent low bidder in the amount of $106,743.50, subject to W.A. Petrakis Contracting LLC obtaining the required insurance certificates, performance bond, funding agency compliance certifications, and review and approval of the same by borough solicitor prior to execution of the agreement by the borough.
We did some background check. That's a new name in terms of paving in Castle Shannon Borough. They do a lot of pipe work, water line work, sewer line work, storm sewer work. Most recently, their bread and butter has been doing pipeline work, for instance, water line, storm sewer work on PennDOT roadways that include curb to curb milling and overlay. To the extent that they bought their own milling equipment, paving equipment, and recruited individuals that's all they do from other paving companies. They provided 5 references. 3 of them are competitors. 1 of them is a client. And they're, all the references basically said the same thing, that they're highly recommended, and they do a nice job paving for PennDOT roadways. My gut tells me that the liquid fuels contract, they had a small hole in their backlog that they wanted to fill, and so they bid on our liquid fuels project. They are PennDOT pre-qualified, probably one of the highest levels.
Okay.
So I wanted to share that with council. They have not paved in a road program directly with any of our municipalities, and as such, we want to put a little effort in terms of reviewing their references.
Okay, any questions for Jason?
Yeah, could you mention the streets that are covered under that project?
And Jason, I can read that off here if it helps you. The base bid includes Myrtle Avenue, Pine to house number 3704, Spruce Street, Myrtle to Shady Lane, Belleville Street, house number 2995 to end, and Havelock Street, house number 1250 to house number 1260.
Thank you.
There isn't much of a road left up at Belleville.
Yes, that's what I tend to call the city end.
Yeah.
The other end we'll talk about in a minute under contracts.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Madam President, the solicitor had asked for a clarification.
Jason, even with those add alternates to the first item, they're still the low bidder.
Yes, I did the arithmetic real quick, and they are the low bidder. I don't have the exact values.
Just so for the record, it's clear that they're the low bidder.
Yes.
Even after you add the
Yes.
Okay.
Contract for services. This is for the Belleville Street retaining wall and Fountain Street slope repair projects. Geotechnical engineering investigation services to be paid with grant funds awarded to the borough for these projects. I need a motion to move to award Garvin Boward Bitco Engineering Incorporated a professional service agreement for geotechnical engineering investigations in the amount of $16,654.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The Smith Road pedestrian bridge replacement project. Geotechnical engineering related recommendations, including foundation, gravity retaining wall, and soldier pile wall design for construction of the Smith Road pedestrian bridge replacement. Project grant funds awarded to the borough will pay for these services. I need a motion to award ACA Engineering a professional services agreement for geotechnical engineering services in the amount of $42,255.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Madam President, I think just to tag on to the borough solicitor's comment for your previous motion, I did want to clarify that Lennon Smith went out, had requests for proposals, sent those requests for proposals out to a number of professional service providers. There was at least 3 that responded to each of these. So we followed proper protocol in getting these prices.
Yeah, it's competitive pricing, even though it's professional services. Their scope of work. The Smith Street Bridge, if I might just paint a quick picture. If you're looking at Smith Street Bridge and your back's toward Connor and you're looking north towards the city, on the left-hand side of the stream is rotten railroad ties. That's what's holding up that general area of the Port Authority. The Port Authority wanted that area designed so that we could put the base of the bridge on. So I forwarded their design from 1992 that they didn't build and said, here's our design. They said, we'd like you to get more contemporary information and drill a new hole there. So that's the left-hand side. It's kind of like a goalpost. If you go across the stream, DEP has the permit there to remove non-native material. All the H&H, all of that's done. The borough has a permit in hand for DEP to build the bridge. And then on the right-hand side, where the rotten railroad ties are, Smith Street Bridge, once you take those away, the Alcosan Upper Sawmill Run interceptors right there.
Which they just lined.
They're in the process of doing that.
That's done.
Okay. And they're also doing some manhole improvements to the manhole adjacent to that. So Alcosan once they finish their work, they requested that the borough tie into whatever their improvements are, and they'll be amenable to the borough building that. But we also need a geotechnical soil boring on that side, just to make sure that we're not putting the foundations of the bridge on
Coal mine?
muck. So that was what's authorized in that second motion. The other element, the reason why that one's higher is the Port Authority will not enter an agreement with Castle Shannon Borough. They'll only enter in an agreement with ACA Engineering. They'll only bill ACA Engineering for what they need to do to protect their tracks, to get the drilling rig across the tracks to do the geotechnical form. They won't contract with Castle Shannon Borough. So that one's a little higher because of those Port Authority requirements.
Interesting. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Jay?
You mentioned the drilling rig. Is there going to be enough room to keep the tracks open with the rig in there?
We had a call with about 12 people with the Port Authority, all three geotechnical proposers, and they're going to have to, I believe, switch lanes and build a ramp and protect the western track so that they can get across at an angle to drill the hole. Pretty complicated little thing to do. But in ACA's price, they also have to attend mandatory 4-hour safety training at the Port Authority. They'll be applying for the permit. They'll be applying for the applications. Everything will be in their name. And that's the Port Authority requirement. So that's all in that number that council authorized.
And that's what Pittsburgh Regional Transit now. I still call it Port Authority, right?
Yes. I call
Yeah.
Port Authority, PAT.
Yeah, the PRT, yeah. So, okay, thank you. So we had a motion and a second and we're good. Committee reports, community engagement and events.
Well, Community Day is here and gone. I don't think we could have asked for a better weather day than what we had. I think it was a pretty good turnout up there on all aspects. Good bands, good food. I mean, it was a good time. And Jeremy, if you want to speak, and I see we have Mr. Selvey on out there, so I don't know if we're going to allow him to speak at this time or not. Or are you here for Community Day?
I was going to speak on Community Day, so I'll stand up. Actually, I'll let you guys vote on my motion first. I just wanted to thank council and the borough and Mr. Foote, Truver, and everybody that was involved in the planning process for Community Day. This is the second time we did it at the new revamped park. I've heard a lot of good reviews. The laser show, I think the kids like it more than the adults, which is good. And the vendors did well. And the bands were good, like we said. And Community Day's good. I hope we just keep working together. That's kind of the point of CSRC and relationship with the borough. So I just want to appreciate thanking everybody and Jeremy and Kevin for being on the committee. And just a quick shout out, Port in the Park is the next CSRC event. It's July 17th from 6 to 9 at Hamilton Park. It's the lighter version of Community Day. So just minus the laser show and only one band. There's a couple more vendors, food and drink, kid friendly. So come out, enjoy the park. And Wonderland will be shortly after that.
Thank you for all your work and volunteerism.
Thank you.
And Annie also,
Yes. She will be here maybe shortly.
Paul's wife,
Yes.
for the matter of the minutes. Okay, we need a motion to authorize the borough manager to reimburse the Castle Shannon Revitalization Corporation in amount not to exceed $5,000 for expenses incurred for Community Day.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Finance? The finance chair is absent, so I guess
Got some questions on finance.
okay, review the check registers.
Check register on May 15th. Vicky. Two very large repairs under Public Works, 7720 and 3854, a little over 11,500. Do you know what those specifically were for? I do not. It's on page 3 of the 515 check register.
What were the,
One was 7,720 and the second one was $3,854.98.
so,
Both under Public Works, so that's $11,574.
They were both, I believe, for plow that was damaged earlier, and it just took this long to get it for us to be billed. It's for
Yeah.
Steel City Mower and Plow and Walter Lane Ford.
oh, okay, so there's two separate. That
Yes,
was
two
what,
separate
I apologize. That's why I was confused, because I thought it was the only one that you were referring to. So yes, there was a plow damage during snow operations. The borough submitted a insurance claim. I believe we did receive some money, and those were the costs to repair that vehicle.
Both of those fees were for the same vehicle.
Same vehicle. There was damage to the plow, and I believe damage to the bumper and some other front end component to the truck. That's why there were two separate vendors that had to do the repairs.
There was no damage to anyone's property. How this happened?
Hit a railroad track.
Railroad track. I would suspect that'd be the one down at Grove. That's been a mess for quite a while. Moving forward, check register on the 29th. Page 1 under Capital Parks Plan. I'm not sure why we have a annual maintenance fee for the turf of $4,000 from Keystone. I thought we had that machine that we were doing our own maintenance.
Madam President, the annual maintenance is a contract that we had set up with the vendor to come in once a year and do a significantly more intense maintenance of the field. They come in with some specialized equipment. There also was an area that was damaged. There was a seam that was pulling, so that seam was repaired by the vendor. That's a contract that we're hoping to have approved on an annual basis, so that we can certainly increase the life cycle or the lifespan of that very large investment that council made. In terms of the question regarding the piece of equipment that the borough has, yes, the borough has a groomer, and per the recommendation of the vendor, our borough staff are grooming the field per the recommended, what's the word I want, amount of time between.
So what Keystone did was like a deep clean and sanitize,
Yeah.
and so we get that done once a year.
Yes, so it was far more intensive
All right.
maintenance.
Okay. And one other one on the June 5th check register on page 2. The McGarvey Electric for 4,300 at Real Park. What was done there for that?
Madam President, there was an electrical problem, obviously McGarvey Electric. There was an electrical problem up at Real Park. It had to do with a wire run. And my understanding is that the power to the pavilion comes from the far end of the field over where the playground equipment is. There's a light pole, and I believe there's a conduit that runs from that pole all the way over to the pavilion. The borough was experiencing some electrical issues where I think there were lights that were not working properly. I believe the stove was not operational. And so what turned out to be is a faulty wire. We anticipated that they were going to actually have to trench and replace everything. It turned out they were able to pull the wire and actually at a reduced cost, and we were back in service.
Is that wire run underground? Is that what you
Through a conduit underground.
underground? Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no more questions, I need a motion to authorize the payment of all outstanding bills and invoices totaling $350,839.43 from the general fund, $24,161.13 from the streetlight fund, $25,735.80 from the sanitary sewer fund, $39,567.91 from the capital fund, $2,128.51 from the liquid fuels fund, $18,837.14 from the library fund, and $300 from the employee sinking fund.
I will make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. There's no HR policy. Is there a library report?
Yeah, I have a few things for the library. We did not meet this past week due to the summer reading kickoff program that was held at the library. I think it was 12 to 2, 12:30 to 2:30. There's a large amount of children there signing up for the summer reading program, which also includes adults. So don't hesitate if you're a reader. There was a pizza party and games for kids, so that was well attended, and the weather was exceptional that day. Mug of the Month for June is up and ready to be won. Those tickets can be purchased on the counter at the library. On the 16th, we have a retired Marine vet bringing in his service dog, and he was paired with Foxy for the last 6 years, and he'll have an open discussion about how that has changed his life and how Foxy saved his life on a number of occasions. On the 11th, there is a online chat with the author Matt Dinneman, whose recent book of Parade of Horribles. I'm not sure what that is, but evidently Matt's a pretty popular author. So there's an online discussion at the library on the 11th as well. And the 19th, the library will be closed to honor Juneteenth. I was looking for information on the Permanis and Panera fundraisers. I haven't received that yet, so hopefully at this Thursday's meeting, the board meets Thursday at 7 p.m. at the library basement. I'll have that information as well. But anything else, visit the website if you need to know what's going on. CastleShannonLibrary.com/events will give you up-to-date information for everything that you need to know that's going on at the library, and it's a very, very busy place for sure. So
Thank you, especially during the summer, I'm sure. Planning and codes falls in here.
Madam President, I do have just a brief report, if I may.
Sure.
So I did want to just mention to council that there will be a planning commission meeting next week, Monday, June 15th. There is a case, there's a subdivision request, and I just wanted to let council know that I have a meeting scheduled with Leonard Smith, with staff there, for me to be able to discuss and get briefed by them on this particular case that's being brought before the planning commission. So
Okay,
just want to keep you
where
informed.
would that be?
What's that?
The subdivision.
It's, the funeral home is looking to do some subdivision. They're looking to
Sell the parking lot.
realign some of the lots. So that's why I have a meeting scheduled with Lennon Smith tomorrow so that I can be better versed and
And
can certainly brief you.
when's that meeting at planning commission?
That's next Monday at 7 o'clock, June 15th. And I was just mentioning, Jason, that we have a meeting scheduled tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow afternoon, with one of your staff members to discuss the subdivision request.
Yes. the funeral home.
Thank you. Public safety?
Another 3 years.
Thank you. Public Works, we are replacing, looking to replace the dome on the salt shed roof, the salt shed roof. For the price of $19,900. Would you like to comment on that?
That's correct, Madam President. I think what I would recommend to council is just for just I guess the staff request would be for just approval to continue working towards identifying a suitable vendor to do that dome replacement, to just further investigate the prices and be able to report back to council at your next meeting what staff recommendation would be to replace that dome. I think what's important for the borough is to protect its investment in salt, as we saw last winter with the difficulty with the deliveries that with the number of winter events, snow events we had last year, that having the right tools to manage those storms is critical. The dome is, I believe, at least 20 years old.
Yeah.
So it is certainly at the end of its useful life. I have worked to a certain degree with Lennon Smith in looking at pursuing grants to replace the dome. We hadn't been successful. And so staff recommendation or the staff suggestion is going to more than likely be that council consider using monies out of the capital fund to pay for that replacement.
Do we need a motion for them to move on? Or? No?
It was just a discussion.
But I've heard you're giving administration, manager direction to pursue.
Bring us back some more information.
I will do so and report back to council.
Thank you. Ad hoc committee parks, the proposed parking restrictions for Upper Hamilton Park during Hamilton Park parking lot during the months that the pavilion is rented. And would,
Yes, Madam President. So Councilman Brandon and myself have been working off and on the past several months looking at park issues across the borough, specifically with Hamilton Park, as we continue to deal with some issues that arise from time to time. And one of our main concerns with the Hamilton Park project is now that we're moving into summer, and with the addition of the splash pad, we also rent the upper pavilion, which shares the same parking lot as the splash pad and the playground. So we do not want to, or we're trying to limit the inconvenience to pavilion rentals by ensuring that there's some parking available for their events. We've been watching the splash pad over the past several weeks. Last Sunday, we looked at the lot, and the lot was probably about 90% full with splash pad patrons and park patrons. So if there would have been a rental last week, there basically wouldn't have been anywhere for that pavilion rental to park. So moving forward, we will be instituting a policy where approximately 20 of the 40 parking spots that are available in the upper, or we'll be proposing 20 of the 40 parking spots that are available for public use in the upper lot will have signage placed at each parking spot, designating that during the months of June, July, August, and September, which are the rental month periods, on Saturdays and Sundays, those spots are specifically reserved for the pavilion only. The other 20 spots will be available to the splash pad. And then obviously during the week, the splash pad will have access to all the parking spots available. We just want to ensure that, we're leaving enough parking spots available for our rentals, and, we get multi-use out of that. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the summer to see, if we can tweak the numbers one way or another. If we see that pavilion rentals are only maybe using 10 or 15 spots, then obviously we'll remove some of the signage, allow for more splash pad parking, or vice versa. If we see that the pavilion might need 25 spots, we'll place additional signage to kind of restrict that.
What is the capacity for that upper?
There's 42 total parking spots, 2 of which are.
No, the pavilion itself, how many people is that, does that
I
accommodate?
think online, doesn't it say, yeah, like 75 to 100 people for the pavilion? So, I mean, if you have a party with,
So that's
you know,
one.
75,
Wow.
It's I think for seating specifically, it's around 80 based on how many tables we have up there.
So-
We've been 80. Most of the time it's for like graduation parties and stuff where a lot.
yeah, so even at 80, we were kind of concerned. I mean, you know, you put 2 people in a car, that's 40 cars coming, but we want to leave spots for the splash pad. We also kind of thought with the pavilion, at least if we're designating the bottom half of the parking lot to the pavilion can then kind of double park on themselves, and it's not going to be an inconvenience where they're blocking splash pad people in. So, you know, if they kind of start double parking on themselves, they might be able to get another 6, 8, 10 cars kind of down in that bottom end and stay away from the splash pad people. But at least it will we'll try to appease everybody who's be using it. But Saturdays and
It's
Sundays.
been a learning process
Yeah.
because this is really our first year.
Why we've been watching it and trying to.
Saturdays and Sundays, we expect a full parking lot up there, one way or another.
You have a contingent if somebody rents the pavilion on a Friday.
We do not do Friday rentals.
You don't do Friday rentals on a pavilion? Okay, just Saturday and Sunday.
So, like I said, we'll continue to monitor it. We'll report back to council if we see, or, you know, hopefully Vicky, if you hear any complaints from rentals about parking situations, just forward it on to us and we'll go. We did get a quote originally to have metal signage placed. It was expensive. And the general consensus was, while we're going through this kind of trial situation, we will potentially not do the metal signs at this point. We'll do more of a plastic temporary signage until we can identify the actual number of spots we're going to be happy with. And then we'll install metal signage, permanent metal signage to make it. But the plastic signage should be considerably cheaper than the quote we got for metal.
Thank you. Board reports, Allegheny County Boroughs Association, we meet in a few weeks. Civil service, economic development. We meet, CSRC meets tomorrow, or Wednesday rather. Medical Rescue Team South, Dan isn't here. SHACOG, they meet on Thursday.
Members, there'll be a meeting for MRSA this week, board meeting, exec session board meeting
Okay.
this Wednesday.
Allegheny County Southwest Tax Collection Committee.
Madam President, no meetings till September.
Okay, mayor's report.
Oh, just to say that we had a death due to drug overdoses past week or so. And to further expand that, want to buy drugs in the borough, there's plenty of places you can buy them. We're trying to catch them all, but you can't. So, not like we're a drug-free area. This is much drugs here as in Mount Lebanon or anywhere else.
Well, it's an epidemic, so unfortunately,
Well, people have to know what their kids are doing, that's for sure.
yeah. Anything else? No? Just manager's report,
Nothing from me, Madam President.
solicitor's report.
Nothing. Thank you.
The real estate tax collector's not here. Public comment on non-agenda items. No one wants to talk to us today, so we'll move on to old business. I have a question. I don't know if it's old business or new business. I'd ask that at some point we could have a member from one of our representatives on the school board come to an occasional meeting to tell us what's going on at the school board. So I don't know. I know we have two members, but you can maybe contact them and see if they would like to.
Madam President, I believe I reached out to members and I have not heard back.
Okay, so we'll try to we'll get another message out there. Or maybe if you relay the numbers to me, I'll call them and see if they can, see free to come and talk to us about what's going on. And my concern is I see,
Find out what they're teaching.
Hmm?
You might want to find out what they're teaching.
well, not only that, but I noticed since I live across the street from Myrtle School and I walk behind the school and there's all kind of red posts with what do you call it? Engineering. Looks like they're going to build something. Where they taking part of the field up above in the playground that's right across from my street. It's like they're surveyors. So I don't know if I'm kind of interested.
You actually know they're doing
It's all what it is.
playground replacements at all.
What's that?
They're doing playground replacements at all of the elementary schools.
And Myrtle?
I just know we had something.
If you go to the school district website, there's actually a really big section on like Dormont and Green Tree are getting completely new. Like I think it just posted that they closed their playgrounds down now for the summer, and they're investing into Myrtle. They're doing a bunch of stuff. It was just actually shocking to hear that Dormont Elementary is apparently already like 30 years old. I didn't realize it was that old already, but so it sounds like the school board is investing several $1 million.
Playground at Dormont Elementary and the playground at Myrtle were built on the exact same day.
Yeah, so I know the information's on the school board, on the school district's website, because I kind of perused through it to see what they're doing, but it's several $1 million worth of updates.
I've been on this board long enough that there was a time when a school board member would come in and give a report. So I would like to reintroduce that and have them come maybe every third meeting or something, or once a quarter. So we'll see. Okay. And that's all I have to say. Is any other comments, any new business, old business? If not,
Just under new business, can we please get our website updated to reflect the current standing committees and the members? I looked at it last week and it still has all of the old assignments on there.
okay, we'll make a note to check that out. Thank you. Any other comments? If not, I'll.
New business, are we going to discuss the summer schedule?
Yeah, the summer schedule, there's been a discussion as to whether we do during the summer, just have one public meeting, which would be that the first meeting of the month, and then but we made no decision on that. Is there any discussion?
I would like to personally see it move forward. I think from years past, there's not much going on during the summer, so I think the potentially free up one night, one meeting that we don't necessarily have to have. If something comes up emergency, we can always call an emergency meeting.
Okay, then, so I think the discussion was to keep the first Monday.
Yeah, the second Monday, the first meeting of the first scheduled meeting. Yeah, and I think we were talking at least doing June, July, and August, and then we were kind of on the fence if we were going to include September also, because September-ish is still kind of summery. But
Yeah, well, I think that originally when previous conference did this, they just did the June, July, and
yeah,
August
I'm good
schedule.
with June, July, August.
I am too, but I have a question. If something would come up that we need to have a meeting, we have to advertise that meeting, correct? And how far in advance do we have to advertise that meeting, and how do we have to advertise?
It would be a special meeting called by the council president at the special meeting. Not a long, I don't know the exact time, but it's not a long period of time. You would have to advertise it. If you're canceling it now, you would have to advertise it. But you could not cancel the meetings now and wait to see next month, cancel June, July, decide to cancel July. Or if you're going to cancel.
Keep them on the schedule, and then a week before we can cancel.
Decide. That's a couple of options for you. But yes, if you cancel and then reschedule, you would have to.
I'm in favor of keeping 2 meetings. We just experienced a month with no meeting, and we had a lot of information to cover. And we never have enough time to get through it.
Yeah, I have a concern myself, but we could not, we could keep them on, and then when we see the amount of information that needs covered, we could make the decision and then council. What do you think?
The second option that Dennis mentioned is keep them on the schedule, and if we see that we got a light month, then we only need to have the one meeting, then we can cancel it a week in advance and.
Would save us the money from
Yeah.
having to advertise and.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you'd want to make sure you notify Homestead or put on the website that the meetings. They can.
And that would be sole discretion of the council president.
Council President.
That's something we're not allowed to vote on.
If you're going to vote, you could vote today to cancel.
No, I'm saying if we kept it on the schedule, we can't like vote by email saying, hey, we don't want to have it.
Your votes
Yeah,
have to
okay,
occur.
yeah. Okay, so it would basically be the council president that canceled. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that option.
I'm still in favor of 2 meetings. But evidently we won't have a say in that, so
Well, we're going to
a
have.
lot of it's up to your discretion.
We're having, 2 meetings, and it'll depend on the amount of information and the business that needs taken care of. Okay, that being said, if I need a motion to adjourn,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Thank you all. Thank you for your attendance.